God, what a horrible sound we just made.
That was terrible. Our voices don't mix together like that.
That wasn't.
Fuck.
We might actually have to edit that sound out. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Shitz and Giggles show. Post-election, what do you call it? Hangover? I would call it.
I feel fine.
You know what I'm really surprised at, and I'm already tired of, is all these Republicans out rioting, burning down the street. You know, the election didn't really go their way, and they're acting like babies and smashing windows and setting fires. That's just...
Oh, wait a minute. That was 2016, and those are liberals.
Oh, there's no riots now?
We all went to work the next day.
We went to work next day. Still hugged our families and...
Yeah, I told you this.
Still generally happy?
Off the show, but I've been having, tension headaches in my back of my neck for a couple weeks now. And right after the election, even though it didn't go our way, just gone.
You are prone to tension headaches.
Yeah.
Who knew that politics? Maybe the show is bad for me.
The show is bad for me. I just think the liberals are bad for me.
Everybody look at Brian.
Yeah, because he's got a chew in his mouth again. Damn it. Sorry, Charlotte.
I'll edit it out. Now, you know what?
I wrecked it.
Now, it's probably shit all in my teeth.
It'll only make the show that much better. You'll just prove to the left that you are a redneck.
That's not a very hard thing to prove.
You got a little something right there. There you go.
Dude, Jesus.
Jeez, you fucking filthy animal.
And there's our first beep of the...
Oh, jeez.
It turns out that
Sorry, Al.
The fart noise is a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big hit. I've been planning that stupid Republicans are rioting bit all day. Been waiting to say it to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's how I'm going to open the show. The
The
show's consuming. It is really all consuming for 50 minutes of entertainment.
Dude, bullshit. You called me this morning and go, I didn't do anything all fucking week. Oh, there it is again. Sorry, Al.
I'm going to try to not swear the whole show.
All right, I'm going to try and quit right now.
Not really too...
I don't know. When Don Lemon comes on, though, I'm not going to be able to...
Hey, man, you're supposed to leave the segments as a secret until they come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. Life goes on, and I'm starting to realize, we've had a letdown. At least to me, it was a letdown that we lost control of the house. But
it wasn't unexpected, though. That's the problem.
And here in California, we'll get into it later. Like California, we lost a lot. If you're a conservative in California, we're doomed. Pretty much everybody's made it.
You might as well pack up and leave.
Everybody's pretty much packing up and leaving. But we're not. It's not the end of my life. It's not. I don't let it affect me that much. And that goes to prove is that we all should be this way. Why the left?
I was looking for a water bottle. I was going to pour some water and then have a tear.
A waddle bottle?
Or a water bottle.
Got some scotch.
I got a tear. No, yeah, that'll make you
got
cry.
some
Put that in
scotch.
my eye. Jeez.
Keith's Fine Collectibles got me this.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we talked about it in the show?
Yeah, I asked him.
He went back to the show, went back to the store and bought back something that he sold.
He paid 69 cents for him the first time, and or 60. Something like that. I think it was like 69 cents.
Pretty cool, Keith.
So,
yeah, I don't understand.
The woe is me.
Now I'm starting to go, wow, people were after the election in 2016 screaming at the sky and look, nothing's over. Donald Trump eventually will be out of office. There's no grand design for him to become the Donald Trump dictator of the world.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't allow it. I
No.
would not allow a dictator of any kind. That's what I don't think you guys are understanding. We're your biggest allies against dictatorship, regardless if it's Donald Trump or not. We're not just going to go goose-stepping into the streets because the Trumpster decided he wanted to take over and eliminate the Constitution.
No, I know.
People don't get us.
No, I know some people that we're friends with, that when Obama, they thought Obama was he's gonna do martial law and he's not gonna allow the election to happen. I'm like, No, he's not.
That's funny.
It's like dumb to ever think that.
Remember we were talking about the other week, like we were about declaring martial law on the border or something like that. And I was like, you know what? If you want to draw out the crazy nut right wingers, those are the two words that you enact.
Right.
And, you know, there's a few conspiracy theorists. It's weird how they think of us, the left does. Well, there's a lot of nuts. And
they think we're all like Alex Jones.
Well, even Alex Jones isn't really that much of a nut. He's not out there calling for armed revolution or anything like that.
No, but he says all the frogs are gay. So, I mean, that's where when you start making stupid comments like that.
It's weird because I finally did go and research that comment that the frogs are turning gay. And what that he was talking about is fluoride in the water. And what happened because frogs will spontaneously change sex.
Yeah, they change gender, yeah.
And because the fluoride in the water, there's more and more frogs that'll just turn male, I guess. And sort of making a joke.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find, there's more. I run in very, very tight conservative circles, which a lot of people would call extreme, radically conservative. And nobody's really calling for any sort of armed
insurrection.
No, or mass genocide of people.
No,
I'd like a lot of people to move and go away.
Yeah,
or just be out of my life. And actually, I don't even ask them to move. I'm like, I just want to be away from them. I want to move.
Well, I think you got groups like Antifa that are going to end up. Violence is going to happen, and no one's.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, it is happening.
It's just not happening on our side. Let's see. The only time I could think, really, of conservatives using guns in the last so many years of, modern politics.
And you don't get to. We're not talking about these school shooters or anything like that.
No, because none of them were conservatives.
That's true.
Only time I can think of arms being used in the name of politics in the last, 10 years was the Bundys getting their cattle back in Nevada, and not a shot was fired.
No.
That was armed patriots coming out and standing up against the federal government saying, no, you're not going to take this property. And that was an actual proper use of the actual Second Amendment.
Right.
And not a shot was fired. A tyrannical government or an out-of-control government was told no by the people. We have guns too, and we're willing to fight it out. Government backed down. No problem.
No, the government.
That's exactly what the Second Amendment was written for.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got there, but anyway, let's go with the show. Hi guys, welcome to Shitz and Giggles. I'm your host, Matt Bernal, and I have my wonderful co-host here, Brian Barcelos. Say hi, Brian.
Hi.
We're still not at 100, so there's one more show where I didn't have to dress like a woman.
Hey, we're at 91 though, so it's close.
It's getting really close.
All right, everybody, click on YouTube.
It's time to subscribe. Did you like the nice banner that I put out on the?
Yeah, no, actually, that
looks pretty professional.
Looking more professional every time.
The elections are over, and like I said, it feels like the country's having a mass hangover. Although Brian feels better, he has no headache. He feels like he's drinking a little hair of the dog.
I actually had fun that next day. I actually got a few people to block me on Facebook that day.
It was kind of fun to just go like, fuck it.
I didn't care.
I discovered your dad's Facebook group. What is it? The American Peoples?
American Peoples, yeah.
The American Peoples. And he has invited some real winners on that. I don't understand the guy that I look at. I won't use his name or whatever, but he's like an older 50s, 60s, maybe 70s guy, fisherman, hunter, stuff like that. But he likes to call us Klansmen and fascists.
He called us shits.
And I'm like, dude, who are you, bro? Like, I don't even understand where you're coming from. Like, you're a hunter, you're a fisherman. Everything about you says, I'll like you. And, like, I have this whole Klan thing and fascist thing. It's weird. I've never actually met any sort of Nazi.
Me either.
I have never, ever met any member of the Ku Klux Klan, nor would I want to. Because, well, first of all, it'd be hard to find one.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
they said there's about 7,000 members, 7,500 members of the Klan
Yeah.
in the United States.
there's like half the amount of Klansmen as there are trannies. You know what I mean? It's weird. And then there's the other guy that lives in Alaska on that Facebook group.
That was the same guy.
No, there's two different.
Oh, you're talking about? Yeah, I know.
And there's
okay.
the guy with the fake. I've got a yacht, and then he's like, "Dude, it's a shitty sailboat, dude."
We did misread that. He said he didn't say he had a yacht. So if you went back and reread it, yeah, I was off a little bit. We were off a little bit. And I said, yeah, you're right, but you're still wrong.
I just don't understand where people are coming from.
I was talking to my dad about that guy. His dad was like a sociologist or something.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. If your parent's a psychologist,
No, sociologist. Like he studied social behavior and I think of
people
people, other countries and stuff like that.
weird.
So I don't, it is what it is.
Maybe overly educated, spent too much time in academia.
Yeah.
Could be. Anyway, like I said, we're still looking for suggestions on. I made our first purchase of vinyl decal bumper stickers. $200 I'm putting out on this one. We are definitely going to go into some price negotiations, but I figured I might as well get something out there. These ones will probably be, what do you call it? Free.
Do the sticker people,
More than likely.
do they watch our show?
Yes, they do.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they do.
Thank you.
They just charge me retail prices for wholesale.
Well, maybe we can do some advertising to our 100 customers.
I don't think they actually have a business.
Oh,
I
they
just
don't?
think they have a printer in their house. Good people, though. So I found this weird with the media this week. They were, I guess, maybe emboldened or frustrated because from what I can tell, the left is not happy. They are taking this election as a loss.
Yeah, well, they expected this blue wave, and they got a trickle.
Maybe if they didn't spend so much time hyping it.
Well, but the media, and that's the thing. It's not the job of the media to do that.
There was an excess by them hyping. I don't even think they realized that they did have a success. The success in the blue wave narrative really happened before the election, and that's kind of putting it in the heads for 40 House members, Republicans, to retire. They actually believed that there was going to be a blue wave.
100% agree with that.
So they did have a victory. They had a propaganda victory way before it. So, hey, you got it. So now Maxine Waters can be ahead of a...
Financials.
Yeah.
The most crooked woman in Congress.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted by that one. I mean, geez.
So I don't know if the media is emboldened or they're frustrated, but Donald Trump, after the election, came out with a long press briefing, and there's a little bit of fireworks that took place. There's been a long-going feud between Jim Acosta from CNN and Donald Trump, and this is what ensued.
They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President. If I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President, I
That's
was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks. have
That's
had-
enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a
I've
very
worked-
rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead.
So what happened coming out of that is we finally got Jim Acosta out of the White House because no matter how slight, you're not allowed to assault people.
Yeah.
And pushing her hand away, and he was told, you're done. I would have been happy seeing the Secret Service pull him out by his fucking neck. Oh, I swore, Brian.
There you go. You did.
There's no need for that. He's supposed to be a journalist. If you're working in the White House, press pool, you're supposed to be just a strict journalist, not an opinion guy.
Yeah, you're asking questions.
Yep. And that's it. And what he decided right off the bat is opine. And so
Yeah, you got. You see, that's the first. That's the first time I've ever seen the president actually
go off.
angry. He was actually angry because you watched him walk away from the podium. He actually walks circles and then comes back because he had to take a step back because he's really irritated at this point.
I think he was that close to saying, "Get him out now."
Yeah,
and that would have been awesome.
I'm glad he didn't because it just made it worse. Because immediately after this, he gets his press pass revoked, so he's no longer allowed in the White House. Then he does a video. Did you see the video where he goes to the front gate where he always goes in and he goes, "I come here. I've been coming here for over 10 years, and this is the last time I'm going to be able to do it." And he's talking to the security guard there. It's the Capitol Police and. The Capitol Police, I need your hard badge and this and that. And he's taking it off and he's just making it out to be, melodramatic little bitch.
Well, that's his job is to act.
I cussed again.
He's an actor. Bitch. We can say bitch.
Okay, bitch.
But he was not the only one to act out. This one, when I was watching it live, blew my mind when she came out with this, and this is them trying to drive a narrative. She's not actually asking a question. Go.
Hi, Mr. President. Yemi Shalsunder with PBS NewsHour. On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also
I don't
saying
know why you'd
that
say
the
that.
president.
That's such a racist
There are
question.
some people that say that now the Republican Party is seen as supporting white nationalists
Oh, I
because
don't
of your
believe
rhetoric.
that. I don't
What do
believe
you make of that?
I don't believe it. I don't know. Why do I have my highest poll numbers ever with African Americans? Why do I have among the highest poll numbers with African Americans? Why do I have my highest poll numbers? That's such a racist question. Honestly, I know you have it written down and you're going to tell me. Let me tell you, it's a racist question.
And Mr. President, I want to ask.
You know what the word is? I love our country. I do. You have nationalists, you have globalists. I also love the world. And I don't mind helping the world, but we have to straighten out our country first. We have a lot of problems.
And
Excuse me, but to say that, what you said, is so insulting to me. It's a very terrible thing that you said.
And Mr.
Okay,
President,
please, go ahead.
Mr.
Go
President,
ahead.
people have you
Go
talked
ahead.
about you talked about middle class tax cuts on the campaign trail. How will you get Democrats to support that policy? Or
You have to ask them.
Well,
Hey,
what's your plan for
excuse
working
me.
with
You know
Democrats
what
on a
my
middle
plan
class
is?
tax plan?
You know what my plan is? I'll ask them. And if they say yes, I'm all for it. And if they say no, there's nothing you can do because you need their votes. Go ahead.
She's just trying to. This is a funny thing.
Race baiting.
White nationalists. Get the fuck out of here. The only place where white nationalists exist is in the minds of liberals.
Yeah. Where you can ask any of them and say, point out a time where Donald Trump was racist. And you cannot show one time that
You
he's
know
racist.
about how many people of color, I hate saying that, black people, Mexican, whatever, and women, he's appointed to very, very high positions in his companies for years.
Companies in the White House.
The Rainbow Push Coalition, which was run by Jesse Jackson, gave him some medal and honor for all the work he does for black people. But all of a sudden, he's a Republican president.
Right.
He's a white dude.
That's because
there hasn't been a white nationalist since 1945.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about the idiots that showed up on the Geraldo show that broke Geraldo's nose. And remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. You know what? We should probably show that clip because that was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they're just driving in a narrative. They're trying to, and you know what? I don't think black people are falling for it anymore. Like I said,
No, I don't think so either.
we have this Blexit that's happening. That's a beautiful thing. I think 40% approval ratings with blacks is huge.
That is, I can't believe it was that high.
So
you can see that Donald Trump, the people like him because everywhere that he went, besides Montana,
Right.
for some reason, Montana, I'm not sure what you're doing here, but everywhere in Florida that he went, he helped those people. They all won.
Right. 9 out of 11 of his the people that he went and stumped for won.
Yeah, and Arizona and
Yeah.
Montana are the two that are not so far like.
Montana's weird, man. I guess I was talking to Jake, and he was saying the reason why they didn't want is the Montanans are very big about that dude is not from Montana.
Oh, really?
I mean, and he goes, well, the Democrats in Montana, Dad, are really, really, they vote with Republicans most of the time. I was like, well, why don't you just vote for a Republican that'll vote with Republicans all the time?
Right.
I don't get it. But, the Missoula and Bozeman,
College
which are a little bit bluer, they're college towns, so that's what you're going to get. This is why we don't like the word democracy. I'm starting to think, like in California, this will never happen, of course, not in the current climate, but if California is the 5th largest economy in the country, our governor is really running for president of the 5th largest economy in the world. Maybe we should have a representative republic or a electoral college here in California where the smaller counties get an equal say.
So that would be breaking the. I mean, you'd have to break the state. You'd have to take the state into as a country, and then it would be a socialist-run country. That would never happen.
No, I'm not saying split as a country. I'm just saying our voting system here. It would be nice to have an electoral college statewide for the governorship, because these were how many counties? You brought it up to me.
Oh yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I don't even. I didn't even count them. But it was ridiculous.
It is. I don't think I could find.
There's only like 4 or 5 counties that actually voted for.
Well,
it.
of course, San Francisco County, San Mateo County, Marin County, all those. These
L.A. County.
L.A. County. Not okay. These are the counties that Cox won, and a lot of them are by like 60% or 70%. Amador County, Butte County, Calaveras, Colusa, Del Norte, El Dorado, Fresno, Inyo, Kern, Kings, Lassen, Madera, Mariposa, Merced, Modoc. Orange County, Placer County, Plumas County, Riverside, San Bernardino, Shasta, Sierra, Siskiyou, Stanislaus, Sutter, Tehama, Trinity, Tulare, Tuolumne, and Yuba. And there was virtual ties in San Luis Obispo, San Joaquin, Nevada County, and Lake County.
Okay, so those are
all those counties.
A bunch of all those sands and stuff like that. And Turlocks and stuff like that's all. This is funny, is because he had really high with the Hispanics also,
Right?
And those are heavy Hispanic areas.
Absolutely.
Well, this state is heavy Hispanic, but
it's California. We border Mexico. But that's never going to happen. So the only other option for California is keep pushing to have the state divided into multiple states or 2 states. There's been since the 1941. There's been a big push for Southern Oregon and Northern California to break into its own states because of this problem, and it's called State of Jefferson movement. It's been laughed at for a lot of years, and it was actually really, really, really being pushed in 41, and they were supposed to have a big vote. And the vote day that they were going to vote, and then it was really going to get pushed through, happened to be December 7th, 1941.
oh Jesus!
Yeah, so unluckily for the state of Jefferson, Pearl Harbor happened and it derailed the whole thing. But I'm for it.
No, I am
the
too.
state needs it. And then
I mean, I wouldn't be in it, but I'd move to it.
I think New York is in the same boat. If you went to Orange County, New York, or Buffalo, or the northern part of the state or the more rural part of the state, you'll find the same thing. A lot of New York is
because
most
of that state would not have voted in Anacostia-Cortez.
No. Well, that was a House seat, so
I know, but
maybe people
what
in
I'm
Brooklyn
saying is,
are that fucking
yeah,
stupid.
they are that stupid, obviously, in Brooklyn. I mean, it's a bunch of millennials, I guess.
Would you? Oh, we already asked this.
No, she's... dude, I can't stand her. She's as dumb as a box of rocks.
There's a word for a girl like that. It's called a hate fuck.
Oh...
Well, now that we have
that you failed?
censoring, you can say stuff like that. Would you hate fuck her? Like, I hate you. Just like I'm going to do bad things to you.
I guess. I don't know. It's not.
She's
me.
got bad teeth.
That's not
though.
Me though either.
I mean, who am I to say if someone's got bad teeth?
Yeah, me too. It's
Moving on. The Democrats are trying to steal the election.
Yeah.
Particularly in Florida elections, the Senate is currently trying to be stolen. Rick Scott won over Democrat Bill Nelson, but somehow, even though the election ended on December 6th,
They're still finding votes?
December 6th, the Democrats just keep on voting. And they're going to keep on voting until they have enough votes to steal the election. And the same thing is going on with McSally. Isn't it amazing? Every time they find extra ballots,
It's always for Democrats.
It's always Democrats.
Yeah. Did you? Okay, so they're in Florida. They took a group of 222 ballots, and they verified those 222 ballots. 22 of those 222 ballots were illegal ballots.
Well, that makes sense.
At least one of them was a guy that voted that said he was not an American citizen.
Well, there it is right there. What happens is people will show up and say, oh, I don't have any identification because I think they have a voter ID law, or I can't prove that I'm a citizen. And instead of saying, well, sorry about your luck and send them away, they give them what's called the provisional ballot. And the provisional ballots aren't really supposed to be counted until after all the other ballots are counted, and then they all have to be verified.
Yeah, they have to be verified.
Well, the dickhead...
This stupid lady.
in the governor's race, what's his name? Gallium, the black dude. Gillum.
Yeah.
He's oh no, we need to count every single vote as if it's legitimate.
No, we don't.
No, provisional ballots are set aside to have a higher level of scrutiny. And I mean, listen, if you don't know how to in California, you accidentally people are registered to vote. Just
Illegal. Hey, there was
how many illegal aliens?
Were over
Like
100,000.
all of them?
Over 100,000 that have got licenses in California were accidentally registered to vote.
You think they didn't? And all they had to do, because here they automatically send you a ballot to your house. You don't have to apply for a paper ballot. It just shows up at your house.
Yeah, that was.
You think that they might have voted? You think?
Oh, yeah, of course they did.
Oh, you see, I want to have a Democrat here, a Democrat there, Democrat everywhere. Because, fuck that.
Yeah,
it's time for national law for ID. And here's the problem. The reason why our voting system works as well as it does is because it's not centrally controlled from the federal government, that it's busted out to the counties. So I think to have a national law for ID, it would require a constitutional amendment.
Yeah, I would assume it would, because every state is allowed to do whatever they want. So
stupid. What's been proven is,
I mean, I understand why they do it, because it does allow the ability not to have elections hijacked.
Right.
Other than if you're a Democrat, then you hijack them no matter what. No.
Either that or we need to start playing dirty.
Would you know there's still 4 million ballots that haven't been counted in California? As of Friday, 4 million ballots have not been counted yet.
So what's the margin of difference between Newsom and Cox?
It was like 20%. So there's no way he was going to get that. But I mean, he'd have to get
20 million? Well, there's only like 30 million people in the state.
35 million people in the state. No, what I'm saying, there's 4 million ballots that have been counted.
Yeah.
There's a difference of 20%. So he would have to get, to catch up, he would have to get like 80% of those. Cox would have to get like 80% of the vote on that. To tie, really. This is
the problem with early voting paper. You know what? Right. How about this?
Those are the early voting. Those are your votes and my votes. Yeah. Those will get counted.
Well, this is why I go in to vote, because for one, it's a civic dude. You know what I just got?
No.
I got a failure to appear for jury duty.
You just call them; they'll fix it.
Well, I know, but I was like, hey, man. Well, what happened is I never got it.
Yeah.
And because they don't serve you.
Right.
But apparently
I had one too. Because I was supposed to. I called in the first day one time, and then I totally spaced it and never called back in. And they called my group, and then I just called them. I told them exactly what happened, and she's like, "Oh, no problem." Then I rescheduled you, and they reschedule you.
Dude, you know what? No, I can't even get into it.
No. I know. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, it's a waste of my time.
Right, it is. Totally.
I'm pretty sure this time, because I've been getting into my own. I'm not even wearing a cool T-shirt for you guys today. I'm sorry. I'll get a better T-shirt.
You got an American flag right on the chest.
Yeah, I know, but usually I have to have some cool thing. I think I'm going to wear a shirt that says he's guilty. And just see how long I can stay there. Just walk into the courtroom with a shirt that says he's guilty.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to wear T-shirts and stuff like that. You're supposed to actually.
I wear flip flops and fucking sweats.
they'll-
I can give a
Yeah,
fuck.
they'll kick you. They'll kick you out. If they seat you in a jury box, they'll kick you for that.
That's the goal.
There's like a dress.
Because you're never going to let me on a jury anyway.
Yeah, you remember I got put on that jury and then realized I knew the people that were, the person that had been murdered.
Oh, yeah. You should have held your mud, bro. So anyway, yeah. So the elections are getting stolen. Who knows? But I mean, those potentially four seats that we win that we're ahead in the Senate are a big deal because Democrats can't get anything passed legislatively because their ideas are stupid. So what they have been doing for the last 20 years is trying to take over the courts. And you could see this with the Ninth Circuit Court declaring all kinds of retardedness. And so that's their big. So having to not have to bet on Susan Collins and that other idiot from. Did Susan Collins have a stroke?
Did she win? She lost, didn't she?
She's a senator.
Didn't she lose?
Oh, I would hope so. I don't know. She's from Maine.
Oh, no, she didn't lose.
She's from Maine, right?
Yeah, no, she didn't lose. They're going after
She
her.
lost her ability to talk a long time ago. And that Lisa Murkowski, that's the one from Alaska, right?
Yeah, she.
Apparently, dude, Alaskans aren't as fucking cool as I thought they were.
No, obviously that one guy.
I think Alaskans might be sliding in a douchebaggery.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, man.
Well,
You got to be a little bit weird to live in Alaska. It's a beautiful place.
But also look at it this way: that's a socialist state. They give every single person that lives there money
yeah,
just to live there. So they're used to getting something for free all the time.
yeah, maybe.
So not every one of them are like that, though. I mean, but
They're not. You would think they would be Texans North, and they're
no,
not.
they're
not. I think they're a little bit freaky. Let me see the next thing.
Well, hey, by the way, this lady, Florida.
Oh.
I don't understand how she has not been fired.
She's
This
already
is
been
the-
caught before stealing. Well, let's say her name. What's her name? Snipes. Wesley Snipes.
Brenda Snipes. Wesley Snipes.
Wesley's mom.
She's been caught like
Destroying ballots.
destroying
before.
ballots. They, in Broward County, I guess, in the 80s, I guess, they caught people sitting back there filling out blank ballots one time. Somebody walked into a back room and they were like,
This is all from the county that at one time tried to arrest 2 Live Crew. Remember that?
oh, it was out there?
Yeah, that was in Broward County. So, how far you have fallen, Broward.
I saw a meme that popped up today. He goes, this just in. Al Gore has won the presidency.
Yeah, the recount. Al Gore won the 2000 presidency. Yeah, so anyway.
We're going to go on.
So we're going to talk about this sodomite. For as much as they say Donald Trump is making people act out
Hateful
angrily and shoot up synagogues and
Right.
whatever.
saying he has hateful rhetoric. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this idiot. That's the little brother of the
Cuomo,
Cuomo.
yeah.
There's Como and Homo right here. Because Don Lemon, dude, he is an official Peter Puffer sodomite. This is their attempt at trying to cool down the rhetoric.
Cover it because we were distracted by another extremist that was doing bad things in the name of hate.
Yeah, and then now another one. Then you have all of them in a row. And, we messaged about this a little bit this weekend. I keep trying to point out to people not to demonize any one group or any one ethnicity, but we keep thinking that the biggest terror threat is something else. Some people who are marching, towards the border like it's imminent. And when the last time they did this, a couple hundred people came and they, most of them did get into the country. Most of them got tuckered out before they even made it to the border. So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right. And we have to start doing something about them. There is no travel ban on them. There is no ban on, they had the Muslim ban. There is no white guy ban. So what do we do about that?
So he goes, we need to stop demonizing people in this country. And in the next sentence,
Yeah.
we need to recognize that white people.
He attacks a whole race. A race and a gender.
This is what happens. I'm convinced, dude. I don't know. Never mind. I was going to say something that's really bad.
So let me hang on. I got some.
It's very rare that I will put on the brakes on a thought, but you know what?
Well, you got to.
This is what CNN is.
So I'm going to give you some information, and this is a study. This is a 2013 murder rate in the United States by race. Okay.
Ooh, you're about to touch.
And this is done. This is done with 2016 population estimates, and I'll send you this. You can put this picture this time. Do it. No,
Okay.
I don't want to point here and then not get nothing.
And nothing happens.
Yeah. So you've got. So what this says here is, so the African American population in the United States is 42 million. Right? It's almost 43 million. They committed in 2013. They committed 4,379 murders. So they're the highest murder rate of the population of the United States.
Right.
And so then the next one would be American Indians, which they had 98 murders, but it's
There's only 106 of them.
No, there's 4,200,000 of their Alaskan Natives and American Indians.
There's 4 million Indians?
Alaskan Natives and yes.
I said
And then
Indians.
the next one would be Hispanic Americans. And they committed 1,096 murders in 2013, and they have a population of 57 million. Now we come, so we're now down.
Don Lemon's Great White Threat.
Great White Threat of population of 198 million, which is 75% of this country. It's actually 77% of this country.
Oh shit, 198 million white folks?
Yeah, we committed 3,799 murders. Still
That's
less,
it?
Yeah, still less than him accusing
Per
us.
capita
Per
wise.
capita. We're doing per capita here, yes. Right. So this is by the population. So then it goes down to Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders, how many do you think are in this country?
How many? I bet you there's more than there are on Pacific Islands.
There's 646,000.
That's it?
Yeah.
The Tongans, Samoans, and Hawaiians?
Yes, and Asian Americans.
Fijians?
Asian Americans kill less people than anybody in the United States.
Because they're, but you know why?
I'm just saying, but I mean, so this blows Mr. Hate Man here out of the water because he's wrong. It doesn't happen in this way that he
It's
says it does.
all about a narrative, bro.
Right, no, and I get
All
it.
about the narrative. And
Stop
the thing is,
accusing-
so let me make this very clear. This is not saying that like black people are bad.
and this is what the point of this.
Right.
Hang on.
There's
So,
a lot of reasons why there's a high murder rate in black communities. That it has nothing to do with genetics.
I don't even call this a high murder rate because it is 0.0102% Black Americans commit murder. That's it.
0.012.
102. 0.0102.
There's a whole lot less murdering going on than we think.
Right. Yes. But as far as CNN tells you, the fucking country is on fire and everybody's being murdered by white men.
So pretty much, it's just Chicago. Just Chicago. If you just stay out of Chicago and Stockton, you'll be all right.
Yeah. And I don't know where all
Dude, if that's the case, that's the highest amount of murder per capita, and that's all that it is. Yeah, there's not a lot of people murdering anybody.
No, the crime rate. I went through a whole bunch of other stuff today. The crime rate in the United States has dropped dramatically in the last 30 years. I mean, it is so low. The crime rate is so low now. It's not, and it's gone up and down since 2008. It went up.
That's weird. It spiked in 2008.
It spiked in 2008, and then went up and down, and 2008. Was it 2011 had like the highest murder rates in it that had been for like 40 years or something like that, and it wasn't that high. So it was like, but I'm not saying murdering it's anytime you murder somebody is wrong, obviously, but,
right.
But the violence that everybody spews, this violence, this country is so violent. This country is absolutely not violent. I guarantee you there's way more people killed in Iraq and Afghanistan, not by the Taliban.
Well, anywhere
not by,
in the third world.
Yeah, they kill each other like freaking flies there.
Well, their lives are less
But
important
if you
than
listen
ours.
to CNN, they think it's like we're freaking
Just a murderous,
country.
crazy nation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's true. Wow. Dude,
Yeah.
you kind of blew me on my mind right now with those statistics. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's.
That's
And if
nuts.
you don't believe me, it was on Wikipedia. So, and it is a FBI study that was done. It was actual numbers came from the FBI, all this stuff. So when that happened,
Wow, that's crazy. Well, if there's anything that's being murdered, it's Don Lemon's T cell count. Moving on. When we come back, we'll talk about psychology and the psychology of politics.
From the land of sky blue waters, from the land of pine's lofty blossoms, comes the beer refreshing.
Pour an ice-cold Hams and treat yourself to the premium beer from the land of sky blue waters. Great tasting Hams.
Hands the beer refreshing, hands the beer refreshing.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Shitz and Giggles show. Once again, I'm your host, Matt Bernal, and Brian Barcelos is here with me. And he's giving us all the good factoids today. Blowing my mind. You're contributing, sir. Contributing. As it turns out, radio shows... Wow. I'm not even really drinking.
No.
Radio talk show host Michael Savage has been right along. Liberalism is a mental disorder. Science says liberals, not conservatives, are psychotic.
Yes.
You read this article. What did it say? Because I did not read this article.
So it really
Good headline, though.
all this article really states is that there was a 2012 study that was done, and that they are fixing the study by swapping liberals with conservatives, realizing that they were wrong. They had made a mistake, and actually liberals are psychopathic, and it's like...
So there's a higher rate of psychosis.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I haven't seen anybody... I mean, dude, there are some borderline... I mean, there's going to be psychotics on the other side.
Oh, on both sides, of course there is. But...
There are some conservatives, dude, that I just can't talk to. They're just a little too impassioned.
Yeah.
I think if you're too impassioned about any one thing, it doesn't matter if it's base jumping, politics. If you're completely obsessed with one thing, that's your sign that you might need Prozac.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that makes me the most stable person in the world because I can't stick with one hobby for more than like.
That is true. You can't.
I'm
surprised we've got 21 weeks going here.
I've been a photographer, a private pilot.
That was
more of a hey, I almost killed myself in the landing. Maybe this is not something that I want to do. That's hard. Giving up on a dream sucks.
We were all a little scared for you on that one, dude, because
everybody knows I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah.
So learning how to fly was the most challenging thing I've ever done. Next to learning how to ride horses. That was very challenging too.
At least we know that if you
that one I will come back to. My days of flying airplanes are over, Johnny. It's over.
Well, at least we know that if 2012, like the movie ever happens,
I can take off and I can land a plane.
You can fly us out of here.
It's the thing that sucked about it was managing airspace around other airplanes. Stuff that's kind of an important thing.
Yeah.
And shit gets really, really busy inside a cockpit around an airport when you're
I can imagine.
In a 2012 situation like that movie, if I had all day to line up as long as I wanted on a runway, it's fine. But traffic patterns around airports get really small. Anyway, I'm getting into the weeds.
Could you jump a limo like they did in 2012?
That's right. They jumped a limo.
They jumped that limo.
Anyways,
we got
that
way
was
off
actually
topic.
a really good disaster movie.
Yeah, no, I liked it. That was a great movie.
Your best disaster movie, go.
Best disaster movie. Yeah, this is gonna sound bad, but the Bruce Willis one, Armageddon, dude. I love that movie for some reason.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's because Liv Tyler's in it, but
Liv Tyler's so hot.
Yeah.
God.
Armageddon. You've never seen Armageddon? How can you never see?
I mean, I may have seen it once, but I don't think I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
Name some. Because right
2012,
now, 2012 was pretty
Deep
good.
Impact.
No, you know what?
The Day After Tomorrow.
The day after.
The Day After.
No, you know what? I
That
have
was
to
a
say
horrible-
2012 was the best because you know why? San Francisco and LA were washed into the
San
ocean.
Andreas, dude. Come on.
Oh, that was
I
that
love
was
that
San
one.
Andreas is the best.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
That's what I've always said. California is only 2 good earthquakes away from being a red state. Honestly, if you wiped away the coastal areas, we are Texas.
Yeah. I when I woke up the next morning after the election, I looked at it and I saw that we stupidly California didn't pass a
Hold on, that's coming up.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, but the one thing I said on Facebook was like, I can't believe we didn't do this, and I wish you did. Everybody just needs. We just need an earthquake, and then they all have to learn to swim. You know,
Yep.
that was just like.
Well, that was the song I was thinking about using today.
Dude,
Anima from Tool.
Dude, that was what got me out of my that morning.
Out of your funk.
I got in the
Just 'cause
car,
of
my work
daydream.
van, and was driving down to Livermore, and
See you down in Arizona Bay.
right, I flipped on Anima, and I just listened to that going down the freeway. I was good to go at that point.
What's next? All right. Anyway, we talked about that. Liberals are crazy.
So yeah, so that was all that was they were fixing a error that they made in 2012.
And that was in New York Daily News. I'm
It
surprised
was
they
in,
covered it.
in New York, New York Post. Crazies.
Speaking of,
yeah, crazies.
this goes back to Don Lemon saying that we're nuts and that white people. Well, these are white people.
Yeah, that's true. But Don Lemon also said white conservatives.
White conservatives are
Yeah,
the problems.
These are white liberals.
Well, these are some white liberals definitely trying to bridge the gap to come together with a peaceful, dialogue with Tucker Carlson at his home.
It's just candlelight vigil, right?
Yeah, this is Antifa showed up at Fox News host Tucker Carlson's home and decided to do this.
Tucker Carlson, we are outside your home to protest
I think I'd start shooting.
You promote hate that's led to an ideology that has led to thousands of people dying by the hands of the police, to trans women being murdered in the streets. Your policies promote hate, and we might even know where you sleep at night.
Mailbox, synagogue.
We know where you sleep at night. Tucker Carlson, we will fight.
We know where you sleep at night. Tucker Carlson,
Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We will bug you in front of your house at night.
Do you know,
Dude,
you know
what
he
a
was,
bunch of Fruit Loop HIV having turd bags.
You know he was on the air.
Yeah,
he was just about to go on the air when this happened.
Yeah.
So these people are so freaking stupid that they didn't even realize he wasn't there. Instead, they freaked his wife out.
Right.
Where she had to climb into a closet and hide.
Yeah, and you know what? The guy that led that, it was called DC Against Hate or Bash Hate DC. It was that long-necked professor weirdo that he actually had on his show to talk about Antifa. Well, one of those soy boy effeminates, sodomites, decided to actually try to kick in the door.
Yeah,
and they cracked the door.
They cracked the door.
Brian, what would happen if someone tried to kick your door and cracked it?
He gets 12 gauge through the door, probably.
Mine would probably die in a hail of gunfire from an M1A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they would have been well within their rights if you fear for your life.
See, they were kicking in the door.
They were kicking in the door. Yeah.
It's,
You gotta wait.
No.
That's probably bad. Don't follow what I just said.
Yeah.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
do what
you have to be.
Do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you do, it's
But this
on
is
you, not on us.
this is liberals deciding to reach out and be Antifa. Now there's been a big push because of this incident to finally declare them a terror organization, and I'm all for it.
The great thing is they'll be able to find out who's funding these people if they do that.
Yes, they will, because
As soon as they become
these
a
are not
terrorist
people, when
organization-
you start putting pressure on them, are going to hold their mud.
Well, these as soon as they are deemed a terrorist organization, the FBI can now start looking at their financing.
Oh, really? That'll be
Yep.
nice. I bet you it comes to one guy, George Soros, who helped.
I think it's going to roll back in a whole bunch of Democrats.
Yeah,
It'll roll back right on.
This makes me angry, dude.
It does. This is a horrible,
terrorizing people in their homes.
They terrorized Tucker's wife, not Tucker.
Yeah.
Although I did see they showed a clip of him sitting when he's getting the text from his wife or a call from his wife, and he's like, it's just before his show started, and you can see that he's like not in a good way. You don't get to do that.
This is going to end up. We are going to end up with Antifa, particular Antifa. Someone eventually is going to die.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling it's going to be one of them.
I'm surprised they haven't killed somebody yet, because I mean, you don't hit somebody with a bike lock in the head and think that
that dude got off because he was in San Francisco.
Yeah, and you
can do whatever you want.
You split somebody's head open. You could kill somebody with a lock.
You could kill a little girl on a walk with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
And be an illegal alien. Kill a little girl on a...
Well, she wasn't little, but she was like
a young lady.
Yeah.
You could hit people over the head with bike locks and get away with it. But if you accidentally call an old tranny by the wrong pronoun, you could be thrown in jail in California.
Yes, if you're
you can kill white people or hit white people over the head with locks. It's fine. Listen, this is one thing I want to say to anybody that lives in states outside of here, because a lot of us are leaving. A lot of us are going to be coming to Texas, Idaho, Montana, Arizona, stuff like that. I promise you, I'm not bringing any of this with me.
Right.
Not a lick of it. And I think they're under the impression Californians are leaving.
Well, Idaho's
conservative Californians
I
are
guess
leaving.
that's happening though in Idaho. I was just talking to my mom today, and she had talked to her cousin in Idaho, and the Californians are coming to Idaho now, and they're bringing their liberal agendas.
You would have to be a fucking idiot. Hey, I'm escaping this high tax state, so what am I going to do? I'm going to vote for people that want to raise taxes.
Yeah.
California has lost its mind. If this show is really summed up about anything, we talk about a lot of stuff, but the one thing that we come back to the most is California fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It needs to fall off into the ocean.
I got into it with this argument with this lady the other day, right after the election, and she said, you know what? We should pay higher taxes in California. We should feel lucky to be able to live in such a great state. And I'm like, she goes, it's so good here, so what? You should just be happy.
Oh, I saw that. She's like, and you're like, our standard of living is like 50th out of 50.
Right. And she's like, no, it's not. And she sends me this article, and I'm like, no, actually, but you need to take the standard of living and the cost of living, and it's like, what?
What's so great about it? And the weather's just good. Let me tell you something about the weather in California. To anybody who wants to move here, you know what it is? It's fucking hot all the time.
Or it's cold. Like, it gets cold even in Sacramento.
Relatively compared to where I'm going to be moving to. It's balmy right now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm cold right now, actually.
I'm a little nipply right now. Moving on. Speaking of the California elections, to our other state, California has proven to have the highest concentration of idiots in the world. We had a thing called Proposition 6 here. Recently, California decided to raise by 18 cents, I think 21 cents for me since I drive a diesel, to raise our fuel taxes by an additional 18 cents. So I don't know what we're paying totally in taxes.
Well, I think we were paying like 13 to 18 cents before. We had the highest gas tax in the nation before.
And now it's even higher.
And now it's nearly doubled.
They doubled our car registration.
It's anywhere from $75 to $150 extra on your car registration.
Right. So we had a Proposition 6, that said, hey, you know what? We don't like that. We think that sucks because I pay almost $800 to register my truck.
Yeah.
$800 for a 2012 a year. And so a ballot measure passed and it was to eliminate the gas tax and the doubling of the registration. Gas taxes and registration hurt the poorest first.
Yep.
Rich people don't care what they pay in gas, and they certainly don't care what they pay on their new Tesla. But So much for caring about the little guy, liberals. But Javier Becerra, or what is he?
He is the
State
Attorney General.
Yeah, State Attorney General. He gets to decide what the wording is on the ballot.
Right.
Well, when people read it, like we'll go into voting in a sec. He decided that the way it would read on the ballot is this measure would eliminate road and bridge
repair
construction funds.
Yep.
So, of course, the lemmings that Californians are, without reading anything,
they just
go
read
in
the title.
and go and vote and make up their mind on the spot. Like, oh no, I like rigid bogies.
Our roads are shit because they are.
They are.
We have some of the worst roads in the nation.
Well, how many bond funds have we had? How many more taxes have been raised here year after year after year to fix the roads, and they don't. They dump it into the general fund year after year after year. We raise property taxes to pay for state workers' pensions and stuff like that and unfunded liabilities. And it never actually goes to what the tax was meant to be. Californians voted to keep their own gas taxes high and to keep their registration high. And this is a funny thing that I had on Facebook. Some cocksucker in San Diego, this is a fucking liberal, and this is their mentality. If you can't afford California, man, you should just move. I can afford it. It doesn't mean I should, you fucking dickhead.
Well,
fuck that guy. That's such an elitist shitbag fucking way to think.
My aunt told my mom, well, maybe you should move to a state that's more like-minded like you. This is what she told her the day
after. Fuck you! Fuck yourself!
So Prop 6 was a gas tax. Background on this was it was a gas tax that was passed in the what is it, the
assembly? The
assembly. And nobody got to vote on it. So we pushed for a vote on it, and then that's when this happened.
We did manage to pass the elimination of daylight savings time, so you can tell Californians are really big into the big issues.
Yeah.
Thank God somehow Prop 10 ended. That it will eventually pass. They wanted to establish rent control, which means that anybody that owns a building that's renting. Now they can say, oh, nope, you can't charge anymore. Well, now you can't even sell that building. It's worthless to you.
Yeah.
And what was the other brilliant?
Well, that was also gonna say that if you wanted to rent your room out, you had to get permission to rent a room to somebody without.
It's my property,
and they could set prices.
This country was based on individual liberty.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let the market bear what that room will rent for.
Right.
And if you can't afford to live there, then you can't afford to live there. That's fine. But that's kind of funny because what I just said about the other guy, saying if you can't afford to live in California, maybe you should move. Well, apparently I'm a hypocrite. Fuck it.
No, you're talking about something totally different.
I know, but it's just so soon after that.
One of those was you're being overtaxed.
Right.
And which
the other one, they're forcing you to charge less than the market would bear,
or more. I mean, it could cause people not to be able to afford to rent anywhere because that area they could decide that area needs to be more expensive. So,
I doubt that would ever happen. I don't think that's happening. There's people that are living in apartments that are overlooking that would be like $6 million apartments in New York that are overlooking Central Park. And they've just lived there forever because of rent control, and they're only paying like $800 a month.
Right.
And that's where you see, like on Seinfeld and stuff, like, can I have your apartment?
Right. But the thing is that this was going to do was create boards to allow them to decide what rent was going to be in those areas.
You know
and
what?
So if you didn't want certain people in your area, then you could raise your rate. The cost of living
sounds so liberal
to brighten up your area.
This whole idea that liberals are the people. Here's another thing that the lovely leftists decided to vote against. Elderly people, or not really elderly, but people 55 and over. We have a thing here in California called Prop 13. It basically says that whatever your property tax is when you buy the house, it stays that way. They're not. It can't be increased. So what the problem is like people get older, their kids move out, and they're in this huge house. They want to move to a smaller home. Well, obviously, because of inflation, the homes are more expensive now. But it was going to allow those elderly people to take their tax liability with them. So if they've been paying like $800 a year in property tax, okay, they're elderly, they're on a fixed income, whatever, they can take it with them. No. No, they should pay their new fair share. You know what? Liberalism is a scam, and it's a hive of falsehoods. It's just ridiculous.
Just remember, everybody, Prop 6. If you voted not to remove Prop 6, you allowed all this money. About $1 billion a year is going to go into the general fund, and they don't have to spend it on roads and bridges.
No,
they're going to spend it on
bullshit.
The bullet train.
Yep.
To nowhere, the tunnels, and they're going to spend it on the pensions that they cannot pay for.
Unfunded liability.
Yeah, the unfunded liability in CalPERS. So,
California, it's a great place.
Yeah, great place.
You know what? I hope when I'm gonna save what I just said for another day because we're going into this right now. This is another liability California caused. Yeah. This is what happens when you let environmentalists run your state on feelings. And one of the feelings environmentalists have is let the forests just be the way they are, and we'll let nature take its course. Well, nature did take its course, and it wiped out an entire town of Paradise, California. Just today, they pulled 14 bodies out of the rubble.
14 more
14 more. This is video of someone escaping. The end of this video is going to blow you away because the impression you get in the beginning is not the impression you're going to get at the end. Go.
That sucks. People are going to lose their houses.
Heavenly Father, please help us. Please help us to be safe. I'm thankful for Jeremy and his willingness to be brave.
Crazy, dude. Into daylight.
You realize it's 10:44 in the morning.
That's insane.
Because these people were woken up at 6:30 in the morning to get out.
That's insane.
And so you look, it's 10:44 in the morning on their clock, and he comes out to that, and it still looks like it's going to be night there.
Yeah,
that's how bad the sun is being blocked out still.
That is absolutely insane. Unfortunately,
that gave me the chills just watching that.
Yeah,
I would not want to drive through that.
No, that's hell on earth. Unfortunately, 13 days to the year, my family lost a home in the Clear Lake fire, the sulfur fire in Clear Lake, and so did my godparents. Well, guess where they live?
Hey, you know what we
Magalia.
should? You know what we should
do?
So
my godparents may have lost a second home.
That is crazy.
In a year.
In
less than a year.
We should link our both our videos that we did. Me and Matt both went up last year, and we did a aerial view of the sulfur fire up there in Clear Lake.
I got a lot of views on that.
Yeah, you do. I don't have as many, so let's link it.
I think it's because I picked. I think it's because I picked a better
song. Well, yeah,
song.
you had a great song. Plus mine was 10 minutes long. So
it's true. But this is from mismanagement. Donald Trump did warn the state of California, say, look, we're going to flip the bill this time, but unless you start managing your wild areas better, we may withhold funds. I don't think he would. I don't think you can.
No, but it needs to be said because nobody says it to them, and it needs to be said. Look, they need to start managing this better. I mean, we nearly had in this same area, a dam break 2 years ago. And nearly...
Yeah, within 20 miles.
Yeah, it's at Lake Oroville. The Oroville Dam nearly went because of mismanagement of funds in California. Jerry Brown.
Yeah.
And then now his
And they
lover
keep
boy...
voting- keep
now his
voting.
lover boy, Gavin Newsom's now our governor. You, Gavin.
Gavin Newsom, the same governor that had sex with his best friend's wife.
Yeah.
What a shitbag, man.
Hey,
This-
Gavin, Donald Trump Jr. is banging your ex-wife.
This state is insane.
Yeah,
it
that's-
absolutely has lost its mind. And I can't blame people from other states not wanting us, but you have to remember most of us that are leaving, we're not the problem.
My mom we were talking about it today. My mom says when they move out of here, she wants to get license plates so that she can drive there with the state that she's living in.
Yeah.
License plate. She doesn't want them to know she's from California.
I think I have a plan for when I move out of state and people ask, where are you from? I'm going to say, I'm just west of Carson City.
State of Jefferson.
It's not a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a couple miles west of Carson City. You let them assume that I'm from Nevada. Well, I think we've established on this episode, Brian, that California is a piece of shit.
That we both hate
That
California.
we both hate California, and pretty much everyone I know feels the same way. And those of you that are deciding to stay, good luck.
Good luck with your welfare state soon to be.
So anyway, that's our election wrap-up show.
Yes.
And we're going to leave you with something funny, as we always do. Stick with this one, because I think the surprise ending is good, but it takes a while to get there. But it's well worth the wait. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
And we're doing this just for shits and giggles.
Jawel.
Oké.
Ja?
Ja, zeker.
Ja?
Pakken we even die beginpresentatie was goed. Je pakt die laatste vraag maar even op.
Ja.
Ja?
Sorry, ja.
Dat is een hele tijd toeshotten.
Oké. Niemand minder dan John van de Heuvel. John, hi. Mijn eerste vraag aan jou. Wat vind jij nou, naast jouw eigen programma, de beste misdaadprogramma's op televisie?
Ja, dat is toch het programma wat eigenlijk al jarenlang op de Nederlandse televisie te zien is. Het programma van Peter R. de Vries.
Ja.
Het is natuurlijk een beetje concurrent van me, maar ja, op zich...
Oh shit.
Ja?
Oh, jongens.
Nou.
Ik heb een ongelukje. Ik ben... Fuck. Oh.
Nou, waardeloos zeg.
Zo.
Ik denk dat je dat even kan afschrijven. Dit.
Wow.